Let's water cool this 3090 Ti, but first we got to clean it up, re-thermal paste, and then we can put it in the block. We're going to use some isopropyl alcohol to clean off the thermal paste, and if only isopropyl alcohol would fix your browser history. Yes, that means you, Kyle. Now, if you have bad temps on your GPU, re-thermal pasting can be super helpful when it comes to temps. Just make sure you're super careful of all those small little components that are surrounding the GPU. You don't have to get too crazy, you just want to get all the thermal paste off the actual die, and then you can re-thermal paste and put this thing back together. Now, if you're like me and want to get off every speck of thermal paste, I just use a zip tie. That way, if you do happen to hit a small component, it's not going to break it and the actual zip tie will bend. It's very nice and it cleans these things off quite well. Then we'll hit it with the microfiber and get this thing ready for the water block. Now, for cheaper water blocks, you're going to have to cut these pads to size, and a lot of them, like Phanteks that are higher end, are going to have pre-cut. This is a little bit of a cheaper one, so we're going to actually have to cut these by ourselves, which isn't too much of a big problem. So you'll place the thermal pad over the raised area, then you'll cut it down the size with a razor blade, and then you only want to remove one side of the plastic until you stick it off, then you can remove the secondary. You really don't want finger oils all in this, you kind of want to have it all nice and clean. And then you can cut off any excess with a razor blade and remove it with some tweezers. And then we're just going to rinse and repeat until you have each of those places covered, and that way you have all your memory chips, your power delivery, everything all covered and nice and cool when you actually water block this thing. Now that we have the pads all placed and ready, we can thermal paste the die, and then we'll be ready to put this back together. Now, generally, if I'm water blocking something, I want to make sure I get every little millimeter of this thing covered, so I'm going to use a spatula to smear that off, and then we can put this thing together. But overall, it's not a very big deal. It takes maybe 45 minutes total from taking it apart to putting this thing together, and then it's ready to go in your system.